Hi, this is Chris Heller, Chief Real Estate Officer at OJO Labs.
And Jerimiah Taylor, Vice President of Real Estate and Mortgage here at OJO Labs. And today we have two of our amazing OJO Select Network agents on with us to talk specifically about our cash offer program that we've been operating at OJO and help share some best practices around how you can succeed with sellers looking for cash offers. And Chris, I know you had some thoughts you wanted to add here in the beginning, so I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, I think we're in a market that's changing, right? Up until a few months ago, selling a home was very easy. All you had to do is whisper that you were thinking about selling your home, and you'd have multiple people trying to buy it. As the market shifts, it's not going to be so easy. At the same time, as an industry, we've been dealing with more and more companies that are offering solutions to buyers and sellers. And as agents, we really want to be the ones delivering those options to the consumers. So at OJO, we're doing different things and trying different things to make more introductions to all of you. And one of the things that we'll be testing and trying is taking consumers that inquired about getting a cash offer on their home and introducing them to an agent who can help facilitate that or educate them once they give them that option to determine if that is the best option or not. And so that's why we're having this conversation, and that's what we want to be sharing with all of you.
That's awesome. I love it. And I know this is going to add value. So as we jump in, I'll start with Dave. Just give us a quick introduction. Tell us where you're at. Tell us a little bit about your real estate business.
Sure. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and originally from Detroit, Michigan. Got my real estate license when I was 18. I'm 41 years old. So come a long way in the industry. And this year we're on pace to sell about 450 homes. We do offer a program for our clients where we believe in consumer choice and to make sure that people are aware of all of the options that are available to them. And so what we'd like to do is meet with them and propose to them all the different variables. And so part of our value proposition is meet with us. We'll present to you multiple offers immediately on the first meeting. In addition to that, also what you could list your home and sell it for, show you the experience of each one of those investors and the experience of listing your home. And we'll also break down their net and what they'll walk away with from each one of those scenarios. And some people are okay with giving up money and equity that they have for the convenience of a sale and skipping the hassles. And some people aren't. Money is more important to them. Well, we had read through some studies where 5% of people will accept offers and 60% of them end up listing within 90 days. And so for us, we want to be able to provide all those options for people in order to just help more clients in our market. So in addition to the 450 home sales, we do buy about one a week. So we're buying about 50 homes, putting about 50 homes under contract ourselves. And so there are a lot of people that actually do want that value proposition, even though we're giving them all different options. And so our goal on that meeting is to meet with them, find out what their personal goals are, what's most important to them, how soon they need to be there, what their financial goals look like, and give them all their options and let them choose what's best for their family.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Dave. Bryan, will you give us the same recap on you and your business, where you're at?
Hi, I'm Bryan Guarnieri, Realtor here in North Carolina. I cover the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, as well as the Triad, Greensboro, Winston-Salem areas of the state. I've been doing real estate for a number of years now and typically handle myself 80 transactions a year in getting clients into homes, either on the buying or by selling their home. I've been working with OJO pretty much since inception and been very pleased with the leads in this new cash buyer program and have had some success already with it.
That's great. I love hearing that. Thank you for sharing. And that's the reason we invited both of you here. Both of you, for agents that don't know, we've been piloting this cash offer program in certain markets around the country. Bryan and Dave represent two agents that have had some success with this program. And we've got a lot of questions about the program. And so I think our goal today is to leverage your expertise to help agents kind of demystify, how do you work with a seller that's looking for a cash offer? And so, Bryan, I'll go back to you. First question, you're getting that live transfer or that first connection with a seller, and the OJO rep tells you, hey, this is a seller looking for a cash offer on their property. What's your approach? How do you help them?
The main thing is to gain their trust so you can be seen as the advisor for them. And I generally start with just some very simple questions, get to know them, get to know their house, what their situation is. Everyone has a story and everyone has a time frame. And those are the main two things I try and get up front, and then gain their trust and guide them and say, well, let me get together. Let's see the house. Let's give over your options, be it a cash buy with an investor at a slightly reduced price based on a frame you have, or it are so inclined to do a full marketing campaign and list the house through traditional method.
Love it. Dave, how about you? How do you take that first call?
We explain what that experience is going to look like with us, where we take their home information and we ask them a lot of questions so we can go to our investors. We're one of the investors, and we go to our investors and get offers directly from them before we meet. So we just prep them about what that experience is going to look like, what that first meeting is going to look like, how, again, we believe in consumer choice and making sure that they can consider all of their options at one time with one company, and opposed to needing to meet with multiple companies. And, for us, of course, we're not saying this, and for us, it's more about, we want to provide all the options that are available to make sure that if they do end up transacting, they're transacting with us because we have the value that we can deliver from all those different types of programs. And so, and we're saying that to them, in a different way, specifically to the client. But that's how we're setting that up, and just letting them know that there's reasons we're asking these questions. We want to understand how to best help them and serve them in their unique way with different options.
Dave, when a consumer is responding to your marketing and they know that you have this great team in Charleston, and that maybe the call to action was one of these options that you provide, they know why they're talking to you when you respond. If you were to get a introduction from OJO, from a consumer that was simply filling out a form saying, yes, I want a cash offer at my home, they're not saying, I want to talk to a real estate agent. They're not even saying, introduce me to a real estate agent. They're saying, I want a cash offer at my home. How would your team alter that initial conversation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's just a scripting thing where, if they're looking for a cash offer, first of all, it is 100% dependent on doing things the OJO way, that OJO wants us to approach that situation. What options do you want available to that consumer? And then simply presenting those options in the way that OJO prefers us to. And specifically, if the primary motivation for OJO is to truly buy those homes opposed to listing them, leading in with a cash offer. And, potentially if there is absolutely no opportunity for them to accept that, then transitioning to more of a listing conversation. So, it just depends on how OJO wants us to handle that.
So for clarification, we're not an iBuyer and don't plan to be, but there's likelihood that we'll partner with iBuyers to provide our agents with those options if they're not already leveraging those options. Let me take it in a slightly different direction. I have a team in San Diego I've had for years, and some of the consumers that we offer optionality to are contacting us because of that. Some are leads that we're getting like from OJO, where they are saying, I just want a cash offer. And I'll just quickly tell you how my team does it, not because I think it's the best way. I want to get input from you two on what you would do differently, or if you would do it similar. When they call, and when we call them, we get the lead or we're connected to them. We say, great, we understand you're interested in a cash offer. We'd be happy to help you with that. When would be a good time for us to come over, take a quick look at the home so we can assess it, and then be able to get you that offer within 24 to 72 hours. And during that time, we tell them who we are so they know who it is. Sometimes if we start with, this is Chris, I'm an agent, and I understand you want a cash offer. Have you thought about listing your home? And if we get into those conversations, it often just goes south right away. They go, no, I didn't want to talk to you or talk to an agent. But if we say, hey, we're happy to help facilitate getting you that cash offer, when can we stop by to take a look at the home? We usually have pretty good success with that. Now, ultimately, whether they take a cash offer or determine that they even want a cash offer, that'll be determined in the conversation, right? Ultimately, we want to provide the options. They'll determine, or we'll help them through the conversation determine which option is best for them. And if it's a cash offer, those will be provided. And if it's maybe it makes more sense for us to list the home. Oh, we can list the home and and you have a solution for helping us get it ready to list, or those, wherever it goes, we're able to do that. Anyways, I want to hear from you guys. In that type of scenario, what would you do different, if anything?
I wouldn't do anything different. And the reason being, and just to, I guess, expand a little bit on what we're doing, is when I wanted to start an iBuyer type program for the real estate team, I also didn't necessarily want to be known as that's the only value that we offer. So a lot of our value proposition in our marketing is more about, we give you multiple, we're the only people that are going to come over and give you multiple options up front and show you exactly how much you'll net from your home if you list it versus taking an offer, and what those experiences look like. Now we actually have another business that's called Your Choice Offer. And it is like, the value proposition there is specifically a cash offer. And the way that you handle those, Chris, is exactly how we handle our Your Choice Offer leads, which it's not a real estate company. It is a company that will come out and purchase your home. And so that's what we lead into. We don't have real estate related conversations about listing. And we just explain the value of what we can do. And if the opportunity doesn't work for that person, at the very end, we'll talk about how there's other solutions to list if that aligns better with what their goals are. We're not looking to take advantage of anyone's situation at all. So it really comes down to like what's going to work best for them. So, but the way that we take that call and approach that meeting is very much around, this is what you called for, and this is what we're going to give you. And it's not what we want to avoid is making people feel like they called for one thing and now they have a realtor coming over trying to list their home. And so with the real estate team, that is the value proposition. We'll talk to you about all those options. That's what they're calling for. With the YCO, Your Choice Offer, it's more about like the value proposition is a cash offer, and that's the value that we lead in with. So it's a different conversation. It's a different hat that we wear.
Yeah, super, super helpful. Bryan, how about you? Any thoughts on the approach my team's been using?
I think it's a great approach. It's a good way to gain the rapport with the consumer who is looking to sell the home. I feel it's wonderful to be able to offer them the cash buyer, but at the same time, show them the options. I come out of the gate letting them know, what we want to analyze the best solution for them. And it just was going to take seeing the home and getting together with them and knowing their ultimate goal. I have run into a few times already that we're not the only one they've spoken to with the cash offer program. And they do already have heard from a number of people as well. So we're up against, competition out there. We're not the only ones. And so I feel it strongly that, gaining the rapport, getting in with them and making them feel comfortable so they can make an informed decision is the best way to convert a seller. Yeah,
I'm with you 100%, Bryan, where our main motivation when we get any of these leads is to meet with them, and that means we're not trying to pre-qualify them or anything like that about what they want to sell their home for and such. We just want to set an appointment and get in front of them at their home because, we believe the more people we actually meet with, the more people we can help. And you can't really understand how you can help them over a quick phone call. So I agree, getting in front of them is like really the North Star.
And I think that's a key takeaway, right? A lot of the agents that have struggled with this, that's what we hear is they get on the phone, the consumer says to them, how much are you going to pay for my house? And the agent's like, well, I don't know how much I'm going to pay for your house. I haven't seen it. And they try to for anybody that's been around real estate long enough, you never try to take the listing over the phone. You always get face-to-face, try to get there to see the property. And that's what allows you to build rapport and help drive solutions. And I think in the spirit of what does OJO want, that's what we're looking for, is help to drive solutions for these consumers. And you all are doing a great job of it. Now, I am curious, do you all have iBuyers in your market and do you leverage them for part of this opportunity, or do you work specifically with your own network of investors?
I work with my own network of investors. I've spoken with one of the major iBuyers, and they too, Open Door has investors. I have spoken to them about an opportunity in the past, and they certainly can and move forward with doing it. They have two different methods, it seems, of purchasing homes. Either they purchase them through their corporation or they connect with one of their investors, depending on what the ultimate goal is going to be for the house. A lot of the investors just want to buy to turn into rentals or buy and hold. So they turn those leads over to them directly. So I have been reaching out, but I find my investor pool is always hungry.
We don't have any large institutional iBuyers in our market. So we had to build our own network. And the criteria that we had was that they could give us an offer within 8 hours, because we want to be able to show up to that appointment with those offers. We had found a group that would pay more than what others would. And that's what we were looking for. Somebody that could be very flexible, quick, they have a big bankroll to continue to buy and can respond to our request to get an offer very, very quickly. So
it sounds like both of you have gone out and built your own network of investors. What advice would you give to an agent that is in that part of their business where they don't yet have the network of investors and they want to go find them and build that network? What would you share?
I went through the tax records and found anybody that's bought more than 2 properties in the last 12 months. And I sent them a letter explaining the program to them and just ask if they'd be interested. And if they were, to give me a call so we can interview them. And so we got a lot of phone calls. We had a set of interview questions to qualify them because the customer experience is everything, right? And so we want to make sure that we're aligning ourselves with people that can follow through with what we want that experience to look like. So we wanted to find some investors that align with that. And so we interviewed a lot and narrowed it down to a few, and they've worked out really well.
Super smart. How about you, Bryan? Anything you'd add to that?
I'm not shy about taking on any listing. I'm not snobbish about my price range. So I have a large portfolio of investment properties already and got to meet a group of investors that way. I have worked with investors, major investment groups from Texas, California, people like Mind who buy 50 homes a month, these large groups. I've worked with them already and on the buying side. And we do have a lot of iBuyers in our market. There's a lot of competition here.
I like that. So to kind of recap your strategy, it is list properties that investors would want to buy, and you will meet investors. I love that. That's great. Chris, I'll go back to you. You had a question.
Yeah, it was back to Dave when you were talking about multiple offers or multiple cash offers that you present. Are you, when you go on that appointment, and in your model you're armed already with at least one offer? Are you? Is it more than one offer, or what's the ideal situation for you? Yeah,
our ideal is to have 4 offers, and so we have a printout. We have a form that's filled out by somebody on our operations team, and so it produces a consumer-facing list of options. Option 1 through 5, 5 being list, and 1, 2, 3, 4 being offers. And it breaks down the value proposition of each one of them. So, for example, some of it's the costs. Some of the buyers will pay for all their costs, their attorney fees, their closing fees, the tax stamps, and so on. And some don't. So we give them like a net breakdown of what each different investor's value proposition is as it relates to cost. And then on the listing side of things, same deal. It's here's how much we think your home will go on the market for and sell for. Here's what we estimate people are going to ask for in repairs based on what we see. Here's all the different things that you may encounter with costs related to your home, and show them a net on that. And then there's also a list of non-monetary things that are of value to people that each program offers, and more about the experience. And so, like, one of the value propositions that Your Choice offers is that we'll allow somebody to stay in the home for up to 6 months after we close. And that's been very, very popular with a lot of people. And we've actually been able to sit down and quantify how much that actually saves them from a double move and other things that it really actually ends up closing the gap between, the equity that they're giving up and what the other experience would actually cost them. And so there's different things like that each different buyer will offer. There's different value proposition with each one. And then listing your home, again, it's, here's the time frame that it's going to take. Here's the hassles that are involved, and here's the things that are great from it, more money. And and we just walk them through all their options. And, we let them know that, whatever option's best for them is what we're all about.
When you go into that appointment, do you have a direction that you're trying to get them to go in, or are you presenting them with, here's your options and let's figure out what's best for you?
It's really consumer choice. We go in with not attached to any outcome that's going to occur other than that they work with us. That is the outcome that we're really attached to, and making sure we're walking out of that appointment with a plan to help them. We just feel like really getting to know people, build relationships with them, finding out what's truly important to them, helping them prioritize what they're trying to accomplish in their life, and helping them choose whatever's best for them. And that's more it. It's more of informing them of everything and seeing what direction they prefer to go down.
Okay. So here's one quick follow-up. If that consumer that you were talking to was this type of consumer we mentioned, where they didn't know your team, they didn't call your team as response to seeing your ads or your marketing, this was someone being introduced to you that's looking for a cash offer, would that change any of that process? As far as, would you go see the house first, or would you still try to get some information over the phone and then be able to then come and see them with 2 or 3 or 4 offers in hand?
With that one, we just go with one offer from Your Choice Offer. It is a different company with a different strategy and value proposition. Yeah. And we don't want to be deceiving. They're calling something that is saying we'll give you a cash offer. And so we want to operate with integrity and deliver on what they're expecting. And if that cash offer is not going to work with them, we start then to talk to them about different options. But we show up to serve them the way that they want to be served, which in that scenario is just to bring them an offer. And to answer your question, with all the appointments that we set with sellers, we do try to learn as much as possible about themselves and the home before we go there. So that way we're better prepared to give them what they want on that appointment. Things do change when we see the home, obviously, and we're able to quickly make adjustments to that based on when we do see it. However, we do like to talk to them for a while up front about their home and themselves, just so we're better prepared for that appointment.
That's great. And I think, we're getting close up to time here. So let's capture a parting thought from each of you. For agents that are looking to add this kind of optionality and working with investors to their listing plan or listing presentation, give us a parting thought for those agents.
I would say to add a cash buyer to your portfolio of who you can assist is beneficial in that you're building rapport not only with them, but also with investors, which will really continue to help you long term.
Dave, how about you? Parting thought?
Yeah, I would say, it might seem like a lot of information to take in and seems like a big thing to undertake. And I would just say, don't overthink it. It's actually not that challenging or difficult to put together. And if anyone has any questions that they want, the resources that we put together, I'm happy to share. So don't hesitate to reach out. The only other thing is, I think you really have to be selfless in your goals, to really help consumers for this to be something that works well. And so making sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and really want to serve customers in many different ways and give them other options that your market doesn't necessarily provide in the same way is really important. So, but yeah, happy to help where I can.